Chapter 577, Wutian from the East in the Five Heroes. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. Really? I'm just telling you. The Wutians are indeed the dominators of the Eastern region. In the Saint Prince's mansion, there was a young voice that carried an air of arrogance. Howl. Suddenly, a savage beast cried out. Above the Saint Prince's mansion, the dark clouds were blown by the howling wind. A behemoth glowing with golden light dashed out from the depths of the savage beast lake at the Saint Prince's mansion. It stepped into the void and flew from the mansion wall to the ghost saint. A young man was sitting on its back. He wore a white silver armor, held a green sky piercer, and had a portwine mark between his eyebrows. His eyes pierced through the dark clouds like two blue thunderbolts, forming two beams of light. Seeing that man rush ahead, the Wutians burned with righteous indignation. That is, Saint Wutian. A young woman from the Chen family almost fainted from excitement after seeing Chen Wutian, who was sitting on the behemoth's back. Since Saint Wutian has launched an attack, the ghost saint will certainly die. There is no happy ending for whoever is brave enough to provoke the Wutians. Saint Wutian Chen Wutian was the youngest saint of the Wutians. For thousands of years, he was known as the first conqueror. At 72 years old, he entered the sacred realm and was given the title, Wutian. He was 94 years old, hence considered relatively young among other saints. In Kunlun's field, there was a saying that it is unlikely for a man less than 100 years old to become a saint. Those who were able to become saints before 100 years old were all uncontested talents. Chen Wutian became a saint at 72 years old. He was undoubtedly talented and was dubbed the soul of the young warriors of the Wutians. Seeing Chen Wutian rush ahead, Ghost Saint felt nervous to be facing such a formidable enemy. He began to mobilize the holy chi and injected it into the blood soul banner. With a whir, it fluttered in the wind. In an instant, blasts of evil winds came up between heaven and earth. 99,999 blood-red ghosts rushed out of the blood soul banner. Some of them were standing in the void while others were standing on the ground. The scene was becoming extremely strange, almost as if the demons were eating gods. Chen Wutian, how dare you, a junior, fight against me? Today, I will teach you a lesson on the Prince of the Eastern region. The ghost saint stood in the void and brandished the banner. Suddenly, all ghost soldiers of the universe rushed to Chen Wutian. Standing on the ground and looking up above, one could see a dark cloud shaping into strange forms. The clouds made threatening gestures as if it was about to devour Chen Wutian. The ghost saint had profound cultivation and he had the blood soul banner, which was an amazing weapon, but he never exerted the power of Holy Road until now. The crowd below him felt suffocated at the sight of this. The clouds looked like an opening of the gates of hell. The ghost saint is unexpectedly strong. No wonder the imperial court has not succeeded in killing him even after sending out troops numerous times to suppress Cave of Nine Deaths. Third elder brother Wonk said. Zhang Yuochen asked, is Chen Wutian capable of defeating him? Wonk smiled but remained silent. An earth-shattering shout was heard from the clouds. Break! Chen Wutian lifted the sky piercer and condensed holy chi. As he launched an attack, 99,999 ghost images shattered into pieces and turned into wisps of smoke. The ghost saint was struck with panic but maintained his cold demeanor. He did not expect Chen Wutian to be so powerful. With one strike, he broke through the demon's array. The ghost saint took a step back and without knowing it, Chen Wutian had already come to kill him. Like a shooting star, the tip of the sky piercer stabbed him straight into his eyes. Ghost Saint immediately waved the banner and hid behind. Stab! The sky piercer quickly rotated and formed a giant vortex to tear down the banner. The banner shattered to pieces and flew to different directions. Chen Wutian brandished the sky piercer without giving Ghost Saint a chance to fight back. Swish! The sword's tip cut a long hole in Ghost Saint's abdomen, nearly cutting Ghost Saint's body into two. Since you're the Ghost Saint, you should be a ghost rather than a man. Chen Wutian showed heroic spirit. In a flash, he came up before Ghost Saint and attacked his chest with his palm. His chest was pierced through, and his back was torn apart. The sound of his ribs and backbones cracking could be heard from dozens of miles away. Boom! His body was thrown out and fell to the ground. He was seriously injured and almost became a semi-invalid. Howl! In the other direction, Endless flames burst forth from Hammer Saint, and the surrounding area within a 100-mile radius became a sea of fire. His body started expanding and became 10 times higher than before. He transformed into a giant spirit war god so that all his meridians turned clear, like iron chains buried in his muscles. Heaven-shaking warhammer in his hand turned gigantic, like a crimson hill. The heaven-shaking warhammer was made of extraterrestrial meteorite. Only a few people were capable of moving it, even if they're a saint. Among all the saints in the black market, Hammer Saint had the best physical strength. As he lowered his arms, the heaven-shaking warhammer thrust down and hit Chen Yushan on his head. Swoosh! Instead of retreating, Chen Yushan moved forward. He waved the sky piercer with a single hand and chopped at the warhammer, sending both the heaven-shaking warhammer and Hammer Saint flying. Hammer Saint's power is just so-so. Chen Yushan struck again and the sky piercer directly chopped Hammer Saint, putting him in the mud and leaving a big pit on the ground. When Hammer Sage climbed out of the pit, the only thing people could see was the left side of his head that was bleeding and the crack in his skull. His left ear and left arm were also cut off by the sky piercer. Half of his body had been badly mutilated. Luckily, his vital parts were not injured in the attack. Otherwise, Chen Yushan's attack would have killed him. The young generation of the Chuns was excited and delighted. Whoever provoked the Chuns needed to pay a heavy price. The saints were no exception. What did it mean to be superior? This was a true testament to what a real peerless superior really was. Both Ghost Saint and Hammer Saint were old demons who had been famous for more than 300 years. Everyone in the eastern region knew about them. Common warriors regarded them as supernatural beings, so nobody dared to disrespect them. However, Saint Yushan was able to defeat the two saints at lightning speed. This made the Chuns very happy and enhanced their popularity. Yushan from the east and Yufa from the west. He really deserves his reputation. Third elder brother Wonk heaved a great sigh. Yushan from the east and Yufa from the west was the first sentence of 5 heroes. Yushan from the east referred to Chen Yushan from the eastern region. The whole 5 heroes was Yushan from the east and Yufa from the west, Xinshu from the south and Yushan from the north, Wanzai Oi from the center of 9 province. 10 years is a short time, and 100 years is a long time. Who has been dominating the Kunlun's field in the past 100 years? Read the 5 heroes to learn about the world events. The 5 heroes included the 5 most outstanding talents in the Kunlun's field in a century. Chen Yushan was one of them. For the 5 people in the 5 heroes, becoming first on the heaven board was like winning a child fight. It was not something that they cared about. Chen Yushan rode on the behemoth's back and came before Ghost Saint. He pointed the sky piercer at Ghost Saint's chest and said, "You two were brave enough to cause trouble in Saint Prince's mansion. Shouldn't you know your capabilities better? Those two wouldn't dare pick a fight with the Chen family alone. How about counting me in?" Out of the dark clouds in the sky, a skinny elder walked out. He had long black hair and looked like he was over 70 years old. He was wearing a livid cloth gown and a pair of plain straw sandals. He seemed like a normal person, as he had no strong aura fluctuations. If someone were to throw a stone on the street randomly, it would probably hit an elder like him. "City Governor, we are so honored to meet you." Wutian fan and evil cultivators from the black market got down on one knee and saluted to the elder. Even the seriously injured Hammer Saint also lowered his head and bowed respectfully. Chen Yushan showed a grim look on his face and narrowed his eyes into slits. "9 Serenity Sword Saint, why didn't you inform me earlier about your arrival to East Region Saint City?" 9 Serenity Sword Saint was one of the 3 great sword saints in the Eastern region, and he was also the city governor of the 9 Serenity City. He was a top evil superior and central member of the society. As long as he continued to stomp, the whole Eastern region would shake. "You deserve to be Yushan from the East. An afterborn should be feared." 9 Serenity Sword Saint smiled lightly and continued, "I come here this time mainly for that junior from the Saint Academy. He killed my disciple Huang Shenyi, so I will not just stand by and watch. As long as you are willing to give him to me, I can walk away right now." Without a doubt, everybody knew that he was talking about Zhang Yuochen. Zhang Yuochen had offended the black market. It took a lot of effort to cultivate a young master and 7 emissaries. However, all of them were killed by him. Zhang Yuochen dug Yi's demon's heart and almost killed the young master of the black market. Then, he captured Ghost Saint's disciple Orange Star Emissary and killed 9 Serenity Sword Saint's disciple Yellow God Emissary. Green Robed Emissary was not killed by Zhang Yuochen, but he died in the Xuanwu primitive world. Therefore, all the saints of the black market held Zhang Yuochen accountable for all these deaths. Zhang Yuochen's actions had embarrassed the black market again and again. How could evil warriors of the black market continue to endure?